Hello and welcome to Jackie on Keto. Each week I'm going to be doing a video, and this is about me on my ketogenic journey. I've been on it for a while, but I've just started doing some videos each week, and I'm setting myself some little challenges every couple of weeks to see how I do and what's going on there. So last week I challenged myself to up my water intake from 5 to 6 pints a day to 7 to 8 pints a day, so that's just over 4 litres. So because I'm not used to drinking that much water, I set myself reminders. Now usually, I've done this for a long while now, I take a pint glass of water to bed with me, not actually in the bed, but beside the bed, and when I wake up in the morning I start drinking that pint. So within the first hour of waking up I've already drunk a pint of water. But then during the day I was just drinking another 3 to 4 pints, 4 to 5 pints a day. It just depends what was going on each day. So now I pushed myself to drink 7 pints plus. So what I did was I set reminders on my phone for every 2 hours, 10:30, 12:30, 2:30, 4:30, 6:30 and 8:30, and I had reminders coming up, and I would leave them, I wouldn't complete them until I'd finished the pint of water, and that way it kept reminding me, drink water, drink water, drink water. So I did manage it for every day. I had expected that my weight would go up with the additional water intake, but actually I still had a slight loss, so I was pleased with that. And also I didn't know how I would feel in terms of wellness, because they say you shouldn't drink too much water. So I actually felt great. I hadn't had any headaches through the week. I was feeling good, and I found it quite easy to drink that much water, and in fact I find myself wanting to drink more water, so that was quite easy. So what I'd say to you is, if you're trying to increase your water intake, is to find a way that works for you. So for example, some people like water really cold out the fridge. My personal preference is room temperature. Maybe you like it room temperature. Some people probably like it slightly warm, maybe with a little bit of hot water, and some people prefer to drink hot water. So just do some experiments and find out what works for you, and maybe challenge yourself to increase your water by half a glass a day. I know I've spoken to a few people recently who don't drink any water, and only teas and coffees and things like that, or even worse, fizzy drinks. And also included in my 7 pints, so that was part of it, and I didn't do this every day, was I drank my electrolytes, and you will see coming up on my website how to make the electrolyte drinks. So last weekend I had a massive cheat, and it's the first time in 6 weeks. So on one hand, I was sorry that I'd broken my 6-week run, and on the other hand, I was pleased I did, because I think I would have felt left out from my family if I hadn't have done. So at this time of year, we always make a traditional dish, and it's a bit like French toast. It's got loads of carbs, it's fried, and then you put sugar on top. So really not healthy in anybody's books. But I had it. I did notice that I did eat less than I probably would have done in previous years. But the other important thing for me was, if I'd have been doing a diet, and I haven't done diets for years, but if I'd have been doing a diet, I probably would have said to myself, you've blown it, it's all out the window, forget it, let's just go back. And you just automatically go back to your old way of eating. But I didn't do that. And I think the reason for that is I've had a shift in my thinking about the way I'm approaching keto. And that is for me, it's a way of eating. It's not a diet. It's not a short-term thing. It's a long-term thing. And so I think you have to give yourself permission at times to do, to not follow the guidelines, but to also think, this is my way of eating, so I'll come back to it. So I gave myself permission to have that meal, and straight away I didn't eat anything else for the afternoon, and my evening meal was a normal keto meal. So I was really pleased with the way I did it. I assumed I'd knocked myself out of ketosis, and I did. But actually I still checked my ketone levels, and although I expected it to come up as low, meaning that it's so low I'm not getting any reading, I still got a 0.2, and they say that 0.5 you're in ketosis. So I was pleased with that. I didn't knock myself right out, and within 2 days I was back in, and so I was pleased with that. So let's check it. Let's go and check my weigh-in now. So here we are for week 2 weigh-in, and we're just going to jump on the scales, see what's happening. I don't think a lot's been happening this week. See you in a minute. Here we go. 14.6.8. So my weight was 202.8 pounds, and last Friday was 203.4. So that's a loss for the week of 0.6 pounds, and 1 pound since I started week 1 of doing this journal. And my start weight in June 2017 was 231.8 pounds. So that's a loss overall of 29 pounds. So even though it's not much of a loss through the week, what I look at is what is the trend, and the trend was still down. So even with my cheat, I still lost weight and my trend is still down. So I am really pleased with that. So I'm a Cadbury's girl, or should I say was a Cadbury's girl, milk chocolate Cadbury's. I went through a phase where I didn't really like it when they were bought out by Kraft, but I went back to it soon after. So I liked Twirl, Dairy Milk, Fruit and Nut. They were my staples of chocolates. I didn't go mad, but I would have it quite regularly. And I never liked dark chocolate. I would always avoid dark chocolate. Part of being on keto is avoiding sugar, and so I was eating 70% dark chocolate, which I would just have a tiny little bit. That was all I could manage, and I found out that that's still not high enough in chocolate. It still has too much sugar, and you should have between 80 and 100%. Oh, yuck, yuck, yuck. I don't like it. It's too bitter. So what I've done is I've created a recipe which includes cream and some sweetener, natural sweetener, so that is much more palatable. So I've put a recipe for that on my website. And then the other thing I want to touch on this week is we're told eat less, move more. Eat less, move more. It's a mantra. We all know it. It probably goes through our head, even if we're not dieting, even if we're not looking after ourselves. Whatever happens, that mantra goes, if you want to reduce your weight, you need to eat less, move more. And that doesn't work. You can try it. And actually, as you get older, the older you get, the more you have to exercise just to maintain that same weight. So if you're starting out on keto, I would recommend that you don't change your exercise regime. So if you exercise, carry on with it. Don't increase it for the first little while. And if you, like me, and don't exercise, then don't exercise. As you reduce your weight, you'll start to feel more able to move more. You'll start to want to move more, and I've definitely noticed that for myself. Now, I don't exercise, and if I ever did start it or did try it, I would never keep it up. I was never consistent enough to do that, and I For me, exercise is a chore. It's not something that I would choose to do, and I'm really good at finding excuses not to exercise. So I decided this week that what I would like to do is to exercise. Find something that I can do that I enjoy. Now, I bought a hula hoop a few weeks ago. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I can just about, after all these weeks, I can get it to go round once. So I'm still working on that, but I'm not really getting any exercise because all I'm doing is bending down and picking the hula hoop up. So I've decided now that what I'm going to do, I found on YouTube a video called Absolute Beginners HIT Training by the Body Coach. And I'm going to my challenge this week is to aim for 3 times to do the HIT exercise. It's 20-minute exercise 3 times in the week. So that is my challenge for this week. So I'll report back to you next week. If you have any comments, put them in below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to head over to the website to find more, then JackieOnKeto.com. See you there and see you next week.